Okay, another question? Yes.
I'm Katia Grassi Shell. I have two questions. The first one is knowing a bit the North Sea, in particularly Aberdeen or Stavanger in Norway. I mean, there are a pole of excellence where most of the people have been formed, and they do not only work on the North Sea, but practically they go around and they provide the assistance worldwide. The first question, is that happening in Mexico? Because that could be, I mean, once you got people that are really formed, they don't need only to work in the area where they come from, but the markets start to go around. And that is the first question. The other is just a curiosity because, as you said, there are different organisms in the public administration that are processing the application from the oil companies. I'm very interested to know the resource deployed in there, how many staff work to make sure that obviously all the processing of the paperwork goes as quick as you said.
Very good questions. The second is very difficult, but I will answer quickly the first. The first is we made a great mistake. We did import everything. We bought everything from the international markets. We isolated ourselves from the international debates. We thought we could do it alone, and this is an international industry. So what you want is maybe even to talk English at your oil company. Maybe what you want is that all the people working there participates in the technology debate everywhere in the world. That's what the Norwegians did. I lived there 14 years, participated quite actively there in the oil industry. I saw how from nothing they became experts. How did they do that? Well, let's remember one thing. It's very different to work offshore than onshore. It's a different type of regulation. Offshore, can you be very specific with rules and lots of supervision, and the type of supervision can be there constantly. If you go to Canada, to Alberta, and you see that sometimes they deliver 12,000 permits per year, how are you going to have so much supervision there? So it is a very different type of regulatory system on land from offshore. What the blessing of Norway and the United Kingdom was is that they had it offshore. They could concentrate the activities in one city, and they were very clever. Let's just face it, they were good. We were not. Now, when it comes to the environmental aspects in Mexico, they are having more and more people to work with. The universities are involved, and the problem is that they are taking very long time. So it can take many months before they deliver the results, and often the oil industry wants very quick results. And that's a little conflict that we are having there. Sometimes they are very much under pressure, the biologists, the different sciences that don't really belong to the oil industry, but they have to do their job properly. So we need now this in the chain, in the productivity chain, we need the next link, which is not only the biologist participating, but the biologist specialized in the oil industry, so that they can do the job much quicker. We have a challenge in front of us, and it's that we have to, probably with the help of our friends in the new school that they are creating here or any other part of the world, to have more people educated outside from Pemex that is a specialist in the oil industry, because we want them to have the neutrality from society, not the knowledge of the industry only. I thought I answered. The second question is that it can take up to a year for certain projects. For example, in the Perdido fault belt, where you have very deep waters, and it's going to be almost a record in the world for the depth, that we are talking almost 2,800 meters. Very few companies are in that sea depth. So the type of studies for the ecology in that area are very sophisticated as well. And we have very good studies of the seismic conditions. We almost know where the oil is going to be. We know the type of platform needed and all the risks involved, but we have not done all the studies, biological studies, that are needed to give the permit for the drilling.
We have much less geologists in Italy that, for example, in Uganda, you know that we all live in a very seismic country. So the geologists are practically 1/10 of the many other countries worldwide. I'm wondering how many people you have in the public administration assisting the oil industry matters. I don't want to do comparison, but just to understand the figures.
Dottoressa,
Sì. No, quanta gente c'è nella pubblica amministrazione a processare la parte burocratica? Tu fai un'istanza quando vuoi fare un'attività, se in Italia nella Sì, loro ti dicono che hanno una tempistica che è circa un 20°, adesso è difficile cioè, se noi abbiamo 10 persone e loro ne hanno 1000, c'è anche una comprensione di quello che è lo staff. È una domanda molto generica, perché lui dice multi-layers, adesso non possiamo andare nello specifico.
Let me answer the question very quickly because it's really complex. There's many geologists in Mexico that are competent, but we cannot engage them immediately and to become regulators. These are two different specialities. So just transforming a geologist into a regulator for geological matters, it takes lots of time. And so we have now 4 geologists for the evaluations. So we are creating a bottleneck unless we really transform them more quickly and engage them quickly. So the problem is not how many geologists are there in the country and that also understand the oil business, is how quickly we can bring them to become regulators. The same thing happens with all the other specialties, whether it's biology or geophysics or many other sciences. Sorry for not being more precise to your question.
altra domanda. Di, per favore. Purtroppo mangeremo alle 4 del pomeriggio.
Se la puedo hacer en español, es muy fácil. Cuando el petróleo es de competencia federal, de competencia local, perché è un Stato federato come gli Stati Uniti, è un Stato federale, e quando sta nel mare, esattamente, hai tre livelli. La Pemex, che è una società come Eni, un Stato nello Stato, ¿no? Muy grande, muy fuerte. La Pemex, el Stato local federale e il mar, che è un altro momento, perché era il tema di ieri, no? La competenza della regione, dello Stato.
Mexico is everything is federal. In Brazil, it's not. So it's a tradition that we have that it's going to change one day. I don't know when, but the law is not like that so far. So everything is federal. Now, when the state governments are involved, but they are many times not happy with the results. But I don't think they will ever be happy anyway because of the type of structure that you have. If they don't have much more to say in the development, and we have the state of Veracruz that is taking a leadership role in breaking with this federational tradition. What they want is to have a say of where do they want the wells, how many wells, and so on. What I have not seen so far in that case is how honest it is, because I see still the purpose of bringing more investments to the state. So I am sorry to say that I cannot give you a much better answer, simply because we are a nation that relies on a federal state, and that's the way it is there.